Hey guys, welcome to the next episode in Let's Play Football Manager 2013 with Brighton, and we are now in February 2016. So on the back of that Europa League win, let's have a look at how we are doing so far in the new season. So if you look very quickly, 7th place at the moment. That's not at all too bad. However, when you consider the fact that we are possibly, for some, obviously I realise some teams are on 24, we're on 23 games though. So we are 2 games in hand essentially on some other teams. So what we should probably do is add, say, extra 6 points. Let's just say we win those 2 games in hand, and we shoot up there. We could find ourselves in 5th place and a mere few points behind Tottenham there in 4th. Even if they sort of, even if we lost one and they won that extra one there or whatever, we still wouldn't be too far behind. So obviously that table is a little bit deceive, but deceitful. Sorry, deceive. That's not a word, is it? Sorry, deceitful. Should get my English right. And yeah, it's not too bad. Again, though, the goal difference is improving. The goal difference thing now, I think that is a sort of level where I like to, show off and say, okay, this is how we can prove how well we're doing. By looking at our goal difference, because when we finished 5th a few seasons ago, in fact I'll show you real quick. As you can see, we finished on 0 goal difference. Now Villa, I think, so is that Southampton? I can't actually. It's Villa. Finished on 0 as well, but look, they were 8th, we were 5th. We were only 6 points. I mean, okay, 6 points is still quite a big gap, but that's still 6 points off 4th place. We weren't that far off from a Champions League spot, for goodness sake. So, and obviously you look at Chelsea plus 21. I think if we had a modicum of that, if we had a little bit of Chelsea's goal difference, saying we had, say, plus 16, who knows, we may have actually won them extra games and actually got to 4th. So that was obviously the difference there. And obviously last season was, let's ignore last season. But as I say, it is getting better. And that's the sort of thing where I look at and go, okay, yeah, this is where I can judge our overall sort of performance is by this +9. But obviously, it is only February, so we're not there yet. We're not quite out of the woods. Teams to come up. Let me just see. Let me just compare. Make sure I've got the right one here. Yeah, teams that have come up, obviously Cardiff are now here. So we've got Cardiff and Swansea. And yeah, that looks about it, really. I think anyone else who was relegated is now back. I think Blackburn are back, unless they were last out. Doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, so that's how things are. So first I'll go over the transfers. And oops, didn't mean that. Wrong tab. So players out first. I've got rid of a load of players that are just not really, not very good. They're yeah, I'm in Church. Let's just take Sam Church here. I signed him for £300,000. Sold them for nearly £2 million. That's not a bad deal. That's one thing I will definitely give SI credit for. I've moaned a lot about this game, saying I don't like it. They have, there or thereabouts, got the transfer, selling and buying levels now fairly level. That they are balanced now. I'd feel, it's not really hard to sell players. In fact, I wouldn't say it's not easy, but it's not hard to sell players. It's about what it's like in real life. And if you had a player now who's really good, I mean, on FM12, you could have a £30 million striker. You'd set a transfer status, say transfer listed. We don't want anything for him, and he'd offer him out, and no one would come in for it. And it's like, really, no one wants this player for free. Now, if you did that, obviously, there'd be billions of clubs wanting them. But, it's a lot better. I will give it that. And I've sent a few other players out on loan. James Ward-Prowse obviously have gone out on loan, mainly because, he needs first-team football. He is still only young. He is, 21, not the best time to, obviously he is hoping to gain first-team experience. 21's not amazing, but as you can see, his stats are going up, and the more green there is there, the better, as far as I'm concerned, The passing's really good. That's what I want to see. But, I think maybe next season or the season after, that's when I think he will begin to make a bit more of an impression. And Ashley Barnes out on loan. I just can't find, places to get some of these players in. But I will discuss these in a moment and see how it's done. So this is where I think now, this is the first time I think I've got a load of players together that I think are going to represent the core of this team now. So the first one I've brought in here is a player who's a German youngster. He's only 18, called Mustafa Yus, or any Germans obviously help me out here. Has potential to be a key player, 4-star recommendation, potential ability and all that. He's a centre-back, so I think it might be worth a go. John Joe Shelby, a player who I'm very much so on the fence with him in real life, but on this I think he could potentially be quite good. Okay, 3-star, but I know, as obviously a Liverpool fan, I know sort of a bit more about him than say if I was an Arsenal fan or something. I probably am more attracted to these Liverpool players, obviously. And he's only young, young centre midfielder. Why the hell not take a gamble on him? Next one here. The fans haven't really taken to this guy very much for some reason. Christopher Duchemin, or Dutcheman, I'm going to say, or Duchemin, signed on a free, so I don't know why they're complaining. The fans on this, and this isn't just FM13. This is always has been a thing for many, many, many years. In fact, all the way through a Football Manager, not just Championship Manager, Football Manager. The fans are stupid. You know when you'll have a board confidence update, and it'll say, we are very happy with your performance at the club, blah blah blah. But it'll say at the bottom, the fans are concerned about the circumstances surrounding X player, like this, and it's like, what about him? It doesn't give any details about it. It just says they are concerned about it, and it's like, what are they concerned about? I mean, if I was Zenit St. Petersburg, for example, and and you said they're concerned, I'd go, oh, they're concerned because he's black. Okay, fair enough. But at the same time, it's like, well, no, I'm not Zenit St. Petersburg. I'm Brighton Hove Albion. A very, bear in mind Brighton. And if you do live in Brighton, I don't know whether you take this as a stigma or a compliment, but it is a bit of the gay capital of the world, apparently. I realise, obviously, me managing there does think, look at that. But no, I'm not gay. No, but I mean, you know what I mean. So you think, I'm just joking around. But and also, just though, I don't actually know what that is supposed to mean. Also, I find the fans are very strange when it says, so they take a liking to certain players. Like I've seen on boards and forums on Reddit, certain people have talked about how they've released players, say like an 18-year-old who's maybe played twice, and the fans, and it's actually highlighted and saying the fans are upset that you have let X player go, and it's like, hang on, he's made 2 appearances, he's 18, he doesn't even support the club. Why are you upset about that? You know what I mean? So I think the fans' schizophrenia and general strangeness is something I'd like to see, sorted out for the future. I just hate the way the fans are. I mean, it doesn't even mean anything. It's not as if the fans are going to turn on you. Especially if you're winning things. Anyway, back to this. We've got, I'm going to say his name is Benchy Wenger, or Benchy Wenger. He's Italian. He's all right. I'm going to sign him for free again. Another right back. I'm trying to shore up my defence here because I feel that's the main problem, especially when you consider what I've brought in up front. Well, I don't know if you've looked ahead. And the first one I've got here in terms of strikers is M'Baye Niang. Now, one of the most highest potential players, I think, in the world at the moment. This guy, he's French, obviously, and he's at AC Milan, and I brought him in on loan. Very, very good player. I mean, as you know, last season I brought him in only for half a season, unfortunately. I think he left in January because I signed him on like a 6-month deal or something. And then I thought, oh yeah, I'll renew it. And he was like, fuck off, I don't want to know you. So, he told me to hit the road, and I couldn't get him back for the second half of the season. But I've managed to sign him again on loan. And I tell you what, just to give you a quick insight as to why, we are doing quite well this season. Look at them goals. There, look at them. Look at that. Yeah, 12 goals. That's pretty impressive. Next one is, I can't believe I managed to sign this guy for such a small amount of money. Isaac Quinca, a player I really like, actually. He's a winger, or at least for my team, he's a winger anyway. Really, really good. Signed him for, his value is now 6.25 million. Signed him for 2.8 million, just under 3. Can't argue. He hasn't scored. Actually, has he scored? He scored in Europe, but has many, many assists as well, which is always good. So yeah, I can't believe I've got Isaac Quinca from Barcelona for just under 3 million. Next one, Carl Jenkinson. Not a player I'm too keen on in real life, but I thought again I'd give a go to. 23 years old, I need to shore up that defence a bit, and he's a good option to have. Jack Butland. A player who who the game has always, seemed to rate and all that. I mean, whether, and obviously England do appear to now as well. thankfully, he's getting his go, and hopefully, he will be the future. Now, I realise that this is one of what I don't like to do on this is make what I would describe as cliche signings. The players that you sign every year. And I don't think we've found that one player from FM 2013 who is the sort of okay. Let's go back to FM 11. The player, the Kumar Babakar, the Salman Rondon in FM 12. The Carlos Fierro and the Eric Torres. I haven't. I mean, unless obviously one, and I just have been completely ignoring all this. Whether you can find the player who sort of sums up FM 13, who that kid they overrate every year, and there's always one or two or three, and listen to the names I've just mentioned there, they're the ones for previous games, and but Jack Bullen's been sort of one who's always stuck around and always been the one they rate, and I'm hoping he is because England went through periods where they just didn't have any good, once Seaman retired. Just didn't have any, they had very average keepers. And I mean, Paul Robinson was okay. I think he was probably playing for England about 3 or 4 years too early, in my opinion. I think he'd be all right now. He was he was again quite error prone. Robert Green, I think, is absolutely rubbish. Just my opinion, obviously. But they've got Joe Hart now, who I've rated for a long time. I was calling for Joe Hart to be in the England team. I mean, as I say, not that I give a shit about England, but I was calling for him to be in the team in 2007. So remember the Croatia game? The one Scott Carson played, and then I think it was Cranshaw had that shot and he spilt it over the line because it was funny. It was funny. Steve McLaren's last game, I was like, why isn't he picking Joe Hart? This kid looked great. And now look at him, I was going mad, going, pick Joe Hart. And I don't give a shit, but pick Joe Hart. For God's sake, he looked great. And we'll come back to him in a moment. And 2 loan signings made this year, just again to sort out that back four. 2 youngsters. This is a regen, Damiano Pastore, which I think is a great name. No match fitness since obviously he hasn't been playing at AC Milan. And Julio D'Andrea. But of course, the big signing this year, I don't know how I've done this, Wayne Rooney. Let me just say, loan, I think it was like a pay Man United £500,000 till the end of the season every month. Now I realise that's probably going to come to like £5 or £6 million. That's Wayne Rooney, though, for £5 or £6 million for a season. And I'm hoping, I'm going to be able to get a slightly cheaper deal on loan next season. I'm hoping, provided I don't think I'll be able to buy him absolutely. I pay like 10% of his wages. That's like 20 grand a month. So it's not a week or whatever I'm paying. I don't know what I've got on. I think it's a week. But as you can see, he hasn't actually scored that much. He's been he's been injured for quite a bit actually, Wayne Rooney. So yes, there are transfers. So I probably talked a bit too much there, but never mind. Let's move on. So we had an opening game then against Manchester United at home. Ignore all the pre-season friendlies. As I say, I think they are pretty pointless. Not the best game in the world, but points against United, you can't argue, against the champions. And we've had a really, really, really difficult start here. But I will show you these 2 goals here from Mbai Niang. This was brutal. This was absolutely brutal. We were at White Hart Lane, 2-0 up. And I thought, we've won this. And then, look at that. I mean, I'm not even going to show you the goals, but Douglas Costa. He's a player who's been at Tottenham for a while, actually. I think he signed for... Oh, no, that was a regen. But, I mean, I don't know how that was Niang. I mean, that apparently hit Niang. I don't know. But, yeah, Niang, obviously, this is great form of him. And look at that, absolutely lethal. Linking up with Quentin, that was 2-0. And I thought, we've got this. Nope, turns out not at all. And then, so that's slightly disappointing, but again, a point at White Hart Lane, you can't complain. Now, I'm going to show you this. This is probably one of my biggest and best victories ever. I'll show you the whole game. A quite unbelievable Super Cup. It's full time from Tbilisi, wherever that is, I imagine in Eastern Europe somewhere. So, yeah. So this is the Super Cup. Obviously, it's the winners of the Europa League versus the winners of the Champions League, and obviously Real Madrid won that, clearly. And obviously we won the Europa League, and we meet here. Here goes Niang, and there's Rooney. A bit of luck involved there, obviously he hit that into the bar, and comes back to him. And I think that was his first ever goal for Brighton. Got it in the Super Cup against Real Madrid. So Good way to open your account. I'm sure you will agree. Now, of course, we have Cristiano Ronaldo and Mesut Ozil playing. At this point, I'm shitting myself. Two absolute world-class players. And, I'm just hoping, we can hang on here. But here goes Buckley. I mean, he is unbelievable, Will Buckley. He just gets in all these little nooks and crannies. I mean, that was after full time. So that was 1-1. This is 2 minutes into extra time. And I'm thinking, oh my God, we actually have a chance to win this. Incredibly. I don't know how, but we were just hanging on. I mean, I might show you the stats. Real Madrid dominated most of the game. But I really don't know how we won this, but I think this might be our third goal. I'm just trying to remember what order they came in. Might be 2-2 or 3-2. I can't exactly remember. Of course, they have Hamsik here, and obviously once that went through, I really thought that was it then. Ronaldo, no way is he going to miss. But Jack Butland is, he's living up to the hype there. But here's Rooney. Brilliant finish. And it's 3-1 at that point. I'm going to show you Arbeloa's goal. Oops, Daisy. But we won the Super Cup against Real Madrid. One of my best achievements ever, that. And then we continued a reasonably rocky but mediocre start to the league campaign as we drew against Brighton. If it wants to load them. And as you can see, Wayne Rooney missed the penalty. We'll get onto that in a moment. I thought Wayne Rooney, one of the players that you can rely on, but I guess not. It all started pretty well here with Jeffrey Bruma, if the game wants to load it. It will in a moment. There you go. So it's from a corner. Marin Bruma's great from corners, as most of my centre backs always been. But that was his first goal from Brighton. He started after this. He went on a bit of a run, started getting a few more goals, and he's pretty lethal from corners now. Jeffrey Bruma. And here comes Blackburn's goal. Jordan Rhodes, who is thankfully a lot better than what he is on FM12. For those who watched the Cardiff save in FM12, you may remember I signed Jordan Rhodes, one of the worst signings ever. But he is obviously a considerably different player, from FM12. Obviously, that was literally just before he started going, mad. And scoring goals left, right and centre for Huddersfield. But let's have a look at this Wayne Rooney penalty miss. I think Rhodes, I signed him once. He scored on his debut, or his first league game. Yeah, he won the game. He was 1-0 against someone. And that's a penalty. Paul Robinson tripping Rooney there. He's injured anyway. We got to say Rhodes, awful signing. Scored one goal in the whole season. Paid £3 million for him. And he was terrible, but he's come to bite me back in the arse here. Anyway, here's Wayne Rooney. You think, easy. Nope. Paul Robinson. I just slagged off Paul Robinson as well, haven't I? And that is an absolutely god-awful cross from Chadley. So, yeah, disappointing there. We should probably have taken that. But, what can you do? Anyway, come on. There you go. Where are we? Okay, so I'll show you now my Europa League group. Once again, also got back into this. Qualified once again with 3 wins and 3 draws. Fairly simplistic group. Niang and Nesid with the goals against Trabzonspor. Great game at PAOK as we were 3-0 up and they nearly brought it back again. I think we are a little bit leaky at the moment with that. Hegazi scoring again. Was it Hegazi? It was Bruma, sorry. Hegazi scoring right about a few minutes after they had Maritimo had scored, but they got sent off. Typical. Where are we? And then 0-0 at the return leg. Not the best couple of games against these Portuguese guys, but there you go. Then we went to Turkey and won very nicely 2-0 Niang and Cuenca. And then once we picked it up once we needed to, and then another 2-0 victory over PAOK. Another victory, should say 2-0 over PAOK. Niang with a penalty and Andrew Crofts there with another goal. So it was fairly easy Europa League group, not the hardest, but I wouldn't say the easiest, but not the hardest either. And then we've got another win here, which is 2-0 against AFC Wimbledon. Ashley Barnes, and I think it was an own goal for us there. And then we finally got our first league win of the season, and by Niang hat-trick. Absolutely fantastic. And then we lost to Chelsea, unfortunately. Wayne Rooney scoring. However, obviously it wasn't enough. Chelsea doing really well in the league, as you saw. And they've still got Robbie Di Matteo in charge, which is quite funny. Hazard missed the penalty. And they've got this guy called Rodrigo, who I personally have never heard of. He plays for Benfica, and they signed him for £43 million. I'll say that one again. £43 million. I realise that he is obviously a very, very good player, but that is getting a little bit silly, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I think Man United signed the player as well. I think. Was it City? Yeah, I think City signed Thomas Muller for 40 odd million. I think the game has got it right with the with the what's it called, with the silly signings. 2-1 against Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. Niang and Chadley with the goals, and then we managed to beat Stoke on penalties. Niang had a really bad off night in the Capital One Cup. I think I think a sim this game against City because I couldn't face playing City, and I just put my head down, ignored that, and just got on with it. After that 5, that was a terrible game. Let's not talk about that. And then 2-1 at Villa Park, and Nichibi and Marin with the goals. And we went on a nice little run here where we beat some good teams, Southampton, Shelvey and Croft scoring, and 3-0 against Norwich. But an own goal, Shelvey and Alex Butner on the score sheet. And unfortunately, again, we lost to Chelsea again. Come on, Chelsea, you're bugging me now. And then we lost 2-1 to Wigan. This was a big surprise. We took the lead through Niang, and yeah, I think I probably got a bit complacent with that one, to be honest. Yeah, it was just poor by me. And then Niang scoring against Liverpool, which was good. Lost 2-0 to West Brom. As you can see, we're very up and down, very hot and cold at the moment. Kuchak's still playing. I think he's in his last year of his contract. He'll be leaving soon. Played QPR at Loftus Road. Niang and Shelby. You can again start to see now Niang scoring so many goals. Buckley and Nessid getting us a point at Goodison Park. And then we went to Old Trafford and unfortunately lost 2-1. Lewis Dunk from a corner. Jack Butler not having the best game of his life. Neither in by Niang. Once again, you see he is very hot and cold. 4-0 against Oxford. Niang 4 goals. I didn't I haven't got any kids yet really to play. Any major youngsters, so I just played the first team. 2-1 against Newcastle. Higazi with 2. Fortunately, we lost to Norwich, which was strange. But again, getting himself sent off. So not to see a pattern here, aren't we? 0-0 at Molineux and 1-1 again at Tottenham. Another draw. Niang once again scoring 3-0 at Cardiff City Stadium. D'Alessandro, has he been all season? Yeah, really come back into the team. They're doing a really good job, and Crofts once again scoring very similar to the Europa League final there. And then we played Wigan. We've got a replay against them, as you can see in the FA Cup. An own goal once again. And then we've ended January on a nice little run here with 5 goals, 3 against Blackburn with Marin, Niang and Buckley scoring, and Shelvey and Dunk scoring the winners at the Liberty Stadium against Swansea. So there you go. Let's have a look at the player stats. As you can see, Niang there with 12 goals. He is 10th in the list at the moment. We've got David Ngog on 11. Really? I agree. Tevez with 12. Van Persie with 12. Don't know why he's so far down. We've got Rodrigo up there. As you can see, Aguero already on 20. There's Thomas Muller. I'm sure City paid like silly money for him. Yeah, 42.5 million. Look at that. I mean, Jack Wilshere somehow is 14 goals. How on earth he got that? God. Fletcher's very over. No, I don't believe he is overrated in real life. I think he's overrated on this game. I mean, better than what he is in real life. So yeah, but Niang's doing really good. Let's have a look at the other amount of goals as well. He's absolutely flying. John Shelvey and Wayne Rooney on 4 each, but he is absolutely out and away at the moment with the goals. Assist-wise, Marin with 14, Quencar with 8, Shelvey with 5. So they're doing the jobs. They're doing a really good job at the moment. We're going to see how we do later on, and we'll get through February, March, April, and May, and we'll see how we do. So thank you very much for watching. Can we finish in that coveted Champions League spot? Find out next time, as I will do the review for 2015-2016. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.